morning. I say good morning, Belize, and good morning. And how are you this morning?
Ambergris Caye, the jewel of Belize. Tourists know San Pedro for sun, sea, and nightlife. But beneath the paradise lies another story, a saga of gangs, blood feuds, and an infamous family, the Paguada brothers. This is the story of how rivalries turned deadly, how revenge escalated into urban warfare, and how even innocent lives became collateral damage. The violence ignited on the night of October 26, 2016. At the entrance to San Mateo, 30-year-old Jason Gillett was ambushed and gunned down. Witnesses described the attack as quick and calculated. Gillett fell with multiple bullets to the chest. But whispers in San Pedro soon pointed fingers at a young man rising in notoriety, Delson Paguada. Locals suspected that Delson himself played a role in Gillett's death, though the case was never publicly closed.
That night, shots rang out yet again on Ambergris Caye, and another man was killed. But it wasn't the police that mortally wounded 30-year-old Jason Gillett. In fact, when they were called out to the San Mateo area in front of the Iglesia de Cristo Church of Christ building, they would find the lifeless body of Gillett. He had been shot multiple times to the chest and the head.
Sometime between 6:20 and 6:30 last night, the police were called. They had received information of a shooting in the San Mateo area of San Pedro town. They visited the area where at the entrance of the San Mateo area, they saw the lifeless body of Jason Gillett, 30 years, lying in the middle of the street. He had received several gunshot wounds and he was apparently dead.
According to his family, who chose not to give an interview, Gillett had just left his house 4 blocks away to purchase food when his life was callously taken. Ironically, he hung out at a house adjacent to where he was murdered, but police say they have no motive at this time.
So far, we are checking into information that we have. We cannot say what is the motive at this time, and we have no viable leads at this time. We're just checking into information that we have received.
Gillett is no stranger to the law. Officer in command on the island, Superintendent J'Bria Bowens, says that he's a known drug peddler in the area. But did his past creep up on him? According to the family, he recently complained about 2 to 3 weeks ago that his life had been threatened.
If those suspicions about Delson Paguada were true, the Paguada family would pay dearly. Just 2 nights later, on October 28th, Delson's own father, Antonio Nieves Paguada, was ambushed while walking home. He fought with the shooter for his life, but was overpowered. 6 bullets tore through his body, killing him instantly.
Paguada was killed here in San Mateo on Friday night. Shortly before 11 that night, Paguada left his family's home and was walking along this street, heading to his house when he met 2 men. His brother, who saw him 30 minutes before his death, heard the gunshots.
Pues, lo único, yo lo siento mucho y...
Well, the only thing is, I feel it a lot. He's my blood. He's my brother. The night that it happened, I had passed there maybe about 25 minutes before he did. I saw the persons there, but I never suspected that they were looking to kill him or kill somebody or so. I passed, and it was when I arrived home, I heard the shots. I just went to bed, and maybe like half an hour later, my sister arrived to notify me that they had killed him. When I went there, they had already picked up his body.
Paguada was shot multiple times. According to police, the San Pedro laborer received at least 6 shots to the stomach and upper part of the body. Police believe that this latest murder is in retaliation for the killing of Jason Gillett, which happened on Wednesday. Gillett was shot and killed a few feet away from where Paguada was murdered on Friday night. Police are questioning 2 men in connection with this murder. Surveillance footage may be able to help them to put together the pieces in this latest homicide.
We were there, and they examined the cameras that were around right where the murder happened. The camera shows where my brother fought with the men. You can see on the camera that my brother is going this way and the other one passed him. He took out the gun and my brother jumped on top of him. They struggled and they shot him until they had him on the ground. That is why they only shot him on this part of the body. And just like that, they killed him.
We have 2 persons of concern in our custody, and we are thinking that it is a retaliation for the earlier shooting of Jason Gillett.
This was no random act. It was seen as direct retaliation, punishment aimed not just at Delson, but his entire family. In San Pedro, blood now demanded blood, and the earth was soon going to be soaked in it. Then, a few months later, in March 2017, the violence escalated again. That night, shots rang out in San Mateo, with a gunman targeting Delson Paguada. He was hit in his armpit and rushed to the San Pedro Polyclinic. Reports later suggested that the gunman was Leroy Goff, who had gone after Delson. But in a dramatic twist, the neighbors fought back. The community shot and subdued Goff, holding him until police arrived. It showed how tense and how personal the feud had become. By September, the conflict had escalated to military-style tactics. A grenade was thrown at Delson's house. It exploded, damaging the stairs but leaving the family unharmed. Authorities called it an assassination attempt. Grenades on Ambergris Caye. This was no longer just a turf dispute, it was open warfare.
There was also an explosion at a residence in the San Mateo area of San Pedro town. Upon police responding to the area, a large hole was seen beneath the step of a wooden structure that is elevated off the ground. Also, mud was seen on the steps and other damages to the area. Police have since detained 3 persons in connection with this investigation, which continues.
San Pedro was now facing an all-out war. There was no other way to describe it. The once peaceful island was now being terrorized by senseless acts of violence, perpetrated by individuals locked in an all-out rivalry. On January 23, 2018, at the entrance of San Pedrito, gunmen struck again and opened fire at 2 individuals. Jimell Paul Jex was shot dead, while Dion Neal survived with serious injuries. Police acted swiftly, detaining Delson and Tionne Paguada, along with Timothy Carcamo.
Execution of Paul Jex, shot dead on a back street in San Pedro, is the kind of poetic justice that no one wishes for, not even upon their worst enemy. He became infamous in May 2010 after being charged for the murder of 30-year-old Aubrey Lopez, a secondary school teacher and son of former Belmopan Mayor Simeon Lopez. Despite being acquitted of that charge almost 4 years later, Jex had already made his name as a known affiliate of one of the most feared criminal organizations in the country. In fact, he was believed to have been involved in several high-profile crimes, including another murder on Ambergris Caye, but was never convicted. Since then, he has been back and forth between Belize City and San Pedro. On Tuesday evening, fate caught up with him in a most cruel encounter.
It was about 5:20, I would say, when I was coming out of my yard, going to do some exercise, when I heard the shots before coming out of the gate. So I told my sister, this is not pop shot, this is gunshot. And we counted it, it was 5. So I came out, and when I went on the street, which was right in front of my gate, there I saw this guy laying down on the street in a pool of blood.
Jex had been fatally shot in the head. Another person who was in his company was also injured. The first responder to the scene of the deadly shooting did not observe anyone else in the immediate vicinity. However, she learned from others that a second victim had taken off on foot in the direction of Swan Street.
No, I didn't see anyone else, but I do understand that whenever the people were gathering, they were saying that the guy went running through town, and right by after the shop Savon, I would say that he collapsed, and someone took him to the polyclinic. So I didn't see the other guy that got shot.
He has since been identified as Dion Neal. This morning, the Belize Police Department convened a press brief to discuss this and other overnight incidents across the country.
Sometime after 5 p.m., San Pedro police responded to a shooting incident in the San Pedro area of San Pedro, where upon arrival they visited Crocodile Street, where they saw the motionless body of a male person who was later identified as Jimell Paul Jex, an unemployed laborer of San Mateo area, San Pedro. Also, upon making checks at the San Pedro Polyclinic, police also found another male person suffering from apparent gunshot wound to the body. This person was learned to be Dion Neal, a security guard of Kikaka village. So far, the information that the police has gathered is that both male persons were walking on Crocodile Street when they were approached by two persons, two of them armed with firearms, who set chase after them and fired several shots at their direction, causing the fatal death of Mr. Paul Jex and injuring Mr. Neal.
Following the deadly spray of bullets, the attackers reportedly fled by boat from the nearby lagoon.
The San Pedro investigation has led to the detention of 3 male persons, and also police are looking for 2 more that they believe that can assist us in that investigation.
What happens, the police are not realizing they have a lagoon right next to us, and that's where that boat stopped yesterday. That's where those guys came out and shoot this guy and went running back through that lagoon and got in the boat and went off. That's what people are saying that saw the move.
According to investigators, it is believed that the murder of Jex may have been the result of a brewing rivalry among gangs in San Pedro. He had just left the magistrate's court moments earlier and was walking along with Neal, who was also before the court following a charge of damage to property in Kikaka. Elements of the police force have since been deployed to San Pedro in the event of any reprisals.
But even as they awaited justice for that murder, their names continued to surface. On October 2, 2021, a group of fishermen, including the Espot brothers, were ambushed at Cangrejo Caye. Gunmen opened fire from another boat, killing Jerry Espot and injuring others. The attacks shocked the island. Soon after, Delson Paguada was among those charged, along with Carlos Salazar, Gabriel Villafranco, and the Tionne brothers. The Espot family cried for justice, accusing known island criminals of orchestrating the ambush.
The Espot brothers from San Pedro, J'Bria Espot, Luis Santoya, Ricardo Espot, and Kirian Espot, headed to a location near Cangrejo Caye for a fishing trip, but it turned deadly when 4 men on 2 separate boats drove up and opened fire on the group. Jerry and Kirian were in the water at the time, diving for conch, when they were ambushed. Jerry died and his body was found on Sunday, while Kirian and the others escaped with their lives.
4 of women, the lone brothers. And then boy come, the 2 boys ambush we, and they try to kill we, and shot up at my brother and they shoot up the boat. And then only me and my little brother Jerry Espot stay in the water. And then boy start, they come off on the bush and one next boat rush my little brother and shot up right front of me in the back. He get like 6 gunshots. The gun end up the jump on there and they end up the pick up one shovel, one long machete and try whap me and whap up me in my head. And I still not give up. For my life I hide underneath the bow off of the boat. I hide and I breathe and I come up and I breathe and the ballet when me drive touch it, he run into me.
Injured during the attack, Ricardo Espot and Luis Santoya fled the area towards San Pedro to get help, but they were pursued by the gunmen who continued to fire shots at them.
He come and spin, I can't stop for pick up your brother there. So the next one, Ricardo Espot, Kirian, Tono, let's go for home, Luis, let's go. He grab and he start to take off, then come to the island. The boat follow him, the red boat follow him from Cayo Cangrejo to way to this gas station in the back. Right there, they stop follow them. Okay. Then was coming shooting all over the All over the river, inside of the river. Yes, the green boat that the one come and kill Jerry.
Jerry's body was recovered from mangroves near Cangrejo Caye 1 day later.
See? I grew up with them boy that San Juan. See? And Bale run with me with the engine. I try run mine. He cut my pants, my diving pants. My whole diving pants get cut up with the propeller. They nearly kill me. They want to kill me. They battle with me like nearly 20 minutes and can't. And they get frightened and they just take off and gone and they left my liver and they float up right there dead.
This shootout showed how the feud had extended beyond San Mateo and San Pedro, reaching even offshore fishing camps. The rivalries of the island now touched livelihoods on the sea. Then, in December 2022, tragedy struck in the heart of San Pedro. On New Year's Eve weekend, gunfire erupted in Central Park, packed with tourists and families. Caught in the chaos was 23-year-old American tourist J'Bria Bowens, who was shot and killed. The murder stunned Belize and drew international attention. Police quickly made arrests: Delson Paguada, Lucio Salazar, and Alfredo Trapp. The headlines were brutal. All three suspects had previous murder charges.
Was a member of one of the groups in San Pedro at the Jaguar nightclub. I guess he was purchasing food. And apparently one of the rivaling groups may have seen him there and came for him. From what we gathered is that while they were shooting at him, the tourist was on a golf cart and was in a direct line of firing. And unfortunately, she was caught. Now, that should not bring any comfort to the family or us. The fact is that it's a life lost and the life of someone who was here visiting our country. From the statements we obtained from witnesses, there were 3 suspects.
3 suspects,
Yes.
but that does not mean that all of them
2 had
actually-
weapons.
Okay, so 2 people fired guns.
Yes.
And
the 2 that fired guns are the ones we have in custody who have been charged.
okay, and so there was an escape boat?
Yes.
Okay.
From Jason Gillett's murder in 2016 to the grenade tossed at Delson's house to the Central Park shooting in 2022, the rivalry surrounding the Paguada brothers reshaped San Pedro's streets. Residents lived in fear, innocents were wounded, tourists were killed, and the once quiet neighborhoods of San Mateo and San Pedrito became synonymous with bloodshed. Today, Delson and Tionne Paguada sit behind bars, convicted of the Jex murder and both sentenced to over 20 years in prison, while still facing accusations in other cases. Their rise and fall illustrate the costs of unchecked feuds and family loyalty turned violent. San Pedro's people still hope for peace, but the memory of the Paguada brothers reminds us how quickly paradise can become a battlefield. If you enjoyed this story, like and share, and be sure to subscribe for more true crime stories from Belize. Thanks for joining yours truly, the Beard Man.